All right, so starting with B, what is now? You shouldn't have any issues knowing which one's slope and which one's y-intercept because we just talked about it. Hopefully, which one is? What is your number value for slope? So if we were interpreting that, we usually start our slope interpret sentence with what? This would be for every one increase in what? So the x variable was number of years since 1990. So 1990 was year 0. If it was 3, then it was 3 years from then. So it was 1993, so forth. So it's increase in years since 1990. We predict what? And I thought this part was a little funny. I would think it should be something like per year or some type of unit that involves a little bit more there, but it didn't talk about that, so I'm not going to talk about that. Is kind of how I would look at it for a problem. So we predict the number of commercial aircraft flying. And so I would not add anything else there like per year or at that time or anything specific because it did not mention it. And then so you would say we predict the number of commercial aircraft flying in the U.S. What? And then by about 233.517 aircrafts, I guess I would use as my units. Questions on that one? Again, that one's one of those you either know it or you don't. What is my y-intercept? Which value is my y-intercept? And then so this one interpreted would be what? Okay, think about the way let's write it not correcting for English here to start out with. How do we always start to choose to interpret our y-intercept? So if the I'm just writing it not correcting English here. Then what? What's a different way that you could say this and mean the exact same thing? In 1990, or if it's 1990, or at 1990. So again, you can choose to reword these English-wise to make more sense out of them, and that's fine. But just going with straight interpretation, I want to make sure you understand from that point of view as well. So D says what keyword that should exactly tell you what to do. Predict. If it says predict, you are going to do what? Plug it in. So our equation is what? I'm going to write my equation first. What is our equation? And then so I'm going to go ahead and plug in what is my x? 2, because in 1992, that's how many years since 1990? That's 2. And when you do that, you get what? What do you get when you do that?
3406.
3406, what? And then what are my units? All right, now, E, I'm going to go from a different perspective here. What's another way we word when we say the actual or the what? Observed. So we want to know what the observed are. If I look at the graph, this says for flying in 1992, so I know that's my X value of what? 2. But this graph does not show me the actual. This graph shows me the what? The residuals. So at X equals 2, my residual is like what? All right, so here, residual equals what minus what? And right now we know, do we know what the residual is? Do we know what the observed is? Do we know what the predicted is? Because we can find it out. So we just do this again, but plugging in, oh, we already just found it. So we just plug in what right here? So our observed is going to be right. Now, observed, does that number really make sense? So what would actually probably be more the correct answer? It would actually probably be what? Because if we predict, can we predict a part of a plane? When we predict, can we? Yes. But this is going back to the actual. So was the actual part of an aircraft? No. So it would make more sense that since we're dealing with actual, it would make sense to actually round there.